So joining me now is Leigh Chapman, Pennsylvania's acting Secretary of the Commonwealth, whose office is in charge of overseeing the election. Appreciate you spending a few minutes. Let me talk about the threat issue. What has that done to poll worker recruitment? And do you feel confident you have enough security to handle these election threats?
Well, thank you so much for having me here today, Chuck. And, hello from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, where our capital is. Yes, unfortunately, we have seen an increase of threats since 2020. And, we have 67 counties here in Pennsylvania, and county election directors have actually left their jobs because of threats. Some have also left because of planned retirements, but we've had about 50 county election directors leave their jobs. And it's an unfortunate situation here in Pennsylvania because a lot of these threats are fueled by mis and disinformation about the election process here in Pennsylvania. So my goal as acting Secretary of State is to make sure we're educating voters, the public, the media, just about how the voting process works in Pennsylvania, how vote counting takes time. And because of the restrictions we have with our state law, we will not have unofficial returns on election night like other states.
And in fact, that's what I wanted to emphasize. I was hoping our entire segment would just be about clarifying this, because it's my understanding the law didn't change, which means explain when the mail-in ballots get to be opened and counted.
Yes. So in Pennsylvania, we do not have pre-canvassing ballots before Election Day. So election workers in our 67 counties can only start opening mail-in ballots at 7 a.m. on Election Day. And that includes opening them from the inner secrecy envelope, the outer envelope, flattening them, and scanning them. So they do all of that work between 7 a.m. and then starting at 8 p.m. when the polls close, that's when the counties can release the results. So it takes time. We're not like other states that have weeks to pre-canvass. Right. And that's something that we are asking for, the administration, my department, the governor. We all want at least 2 weeks of pre-canvassing until the General Assembly here in Pennsylvania passes that. We're not going to have unofficial results on election night.
So it took about 4 days the last time. Is that just prepare people now, since this is the state that could decide Senate control? We're probably looking at days, correct?
Days, and it's hard to estimate. We are having a high turnout already. About 1.3 million Pennsylvanians have already requested mail-in or absentee ballots. About half of those have been returned. So we will see, as far as how many mail-in ballots counties will get. But the best we can do is just manage expectations and let voters know that election officials need to do their job. They need to ensure that they're counting every vote. And delays in results does not mean anything bad is happening. It doesn't mean ballots are showing up out of nowhere. It's because of that restriction where we can't start pre-processing or canvassing those votes until election morning.
If folks are watching, they want to be a poll watcher, right, for whatever reason, and they want to be a poll watcher, what are the restrictions of being a poll watcher? Can you just go to any polling location in the state, or does it have to be in your home county? How does that work?
Sure. So poll watchers are individuals that are either appointed by, a county or campaign to monitor basically election day in the polling place. And those poll watchers have to be from that county where they are registered to vote. So we can't have people from other parts of the state to be poll watchers. They have to be from the county. Gotcha. And we actually have extensive guidance on our website, which is vote.pa.gov, about how people can become poll watchers and what the restrictions are.
And at this point, do you have plenty of poll watchers and not enough poll workers, or how would you describe it? And do you need more poll workers for Election Day, or do you feel like you've got that ready?
We always need more poll workers for elections here in Pennsylvania. We have about 9,100 polling places across the 67 counties. So in order to have a fully staffed polling place, you need about 5 poll workers per precinct. Yep. So that's around 45,000 people we need to have a full complement of poll workers on Election Day. And, the COVID-19 pandemic really exacerbated the poll worker shortage. We still have seen a lot of those older poll workers who were doing it for many, many years didn't return after the pandemic. Right. So counties are still recruiting, they're still training, and it's something that is needed, especially in larger counties like Philadelphia.
Well, I'd love to see AP high school civics and government students be the poll workers. And you know, if you want to get civics lessons right there, maybe that's a good place to start because they're future voters. But who knows? Secretary Chapman, good luck with the election. I think everybody wants to know that it goes smoothly. So thank you.
Thank you, Chuck.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.